Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about the film Love in the Rain, which is a South Korean film produced in 1975. It has that old and known plot of two people who fall in love. They are both poor, but they both pretend to be rich. However, this plot gets much more interesting in this film. A 19-year-old maid of a rich family. She was very cheerful, she had lots of dreams, and she worked in the house of an ambassador. And the ambassador went to France, and his wife and daughter, who was about the same age of the maid, they were both left behind because the daughter, she had, as they say in the film, she had a disease with a long and difficult name, and she was confined in a wheelchair. So mother and daughter remained in Korea with the maid. And then one day the family received a big package from France that the father sent to them, and the father sent some dresses to the daughter. But a specific pink dress she didn't want, she wasn't in the mood of wearing, so she gave it to the maid. And the maid really fell in love with the pink dress. One day, on a rainy day, the maid was on the street and she met a guy. He was trying to fix a car. He asked her for her hairpin. And then they have started to talk and they fell in love with each other. The guy was actually a car mechanic, but he was ashamed of saying his profession and he pretended to be rich. The maid also pretended to be rich and said that the house of her bosses was actually her house. She told that to the daughter of her bosses, who was about the same age as her, and the daughter agreed to help her with that, as long as the maid told her everything that was happening. And time passed, the couple was more and more in love. We have beautiful scenes of nature and cheerful young people falling in love. However, the guy, he was in some trouble because whenever they met, he needed to have money to pay for everything, for going to the restaurant, for going out, and he couldn't afford that with his meager salary. So he tried all the awkward ways possible to get some extra money. He tried to work as a masseur in a sauna by scrubbing people's backs, but he had to disguise as a woman, and a male client tried to rape her. It was horrible. He tried to work in all sorts of weird jobs, and one more awkward than another. And then he got to, with lots of difficulty, to have money to pay for those dates. On the other hand, the maid, she also had difficulties because the only fancy clothing that she had was the pink dress, and she could only wear the pink dress when it was raining. So she always had to meet her boyfriend when it was raining, never when it was sunny. Someday he started talking about marriage with her. She froze because she knew she was poor, and she said to the guy that she would love to have a beautiful dining set. And then the guy tried to buy the dining set to her, but he couldn't afford that. Then he tried in a very awkward way to sell his body to an elder woman, but it didn't work out, so he stole her watch because he was desperate to have money to give her the present. And when he was carrying the dining set to her, he tripled on the street, he fell, and everything in the box was broken. When he realized that, when the girlfriend opened the box and almost everything was broken, he got very upset. He started crying and confessed her the truth. And then she was dumbfounded. She tried to confess that she was doing the same thing, lying that she was rich when she was actually poor. And then they make love, but then it's implied that they would follow their separate ways, which was a bit weird because there was no reason for them to be apart. They both did the same thing after all. They both lied about their social condition. And then after a while, when we think in the very end of the film, when we think that they are falling apart, they meet again and get together again and happy just like before. It's a wonderful film. It's extremely sweet. It's silly at times, but it's meant to be silly. You need to embrace all the silliness of the film. And it's the prototype of what would be the K-drama some decades later. The innocent love story, full of innocent, cheerful love, full of dreams and not sexualized, and beautiful landscapes and everything with beautiful colors, everything very cute, a cute love. And even the way love is handled is similar to current day K-dramas. So if you are a fan of current day K-dramas, Korean films, romantic Korean films, you should watch this film. It doesn't matter if you don't like old films. It really doesn't matter because you will like this one, because it's similar in many ways with what you watch in current day Korean series, especially the romantic ones. Another point is that this film has lots of 1970s vintage vibes. We can see the clothing of the era, we can see the furniture of the era, and it really has a nostalgic touch, which gives an extra charm to the film. And it's also a nice way for people who watch nowadays Asian films but aren't very familiar with old films. They really should start with this film because it's not that old. It has a plot that is recognizable. It has a plot that can be understandable even nowadays. And it really has that touch of tenderness, of love for the sake of love, love without the sex, and love with hope, with joy, as we see in many Korean films nowadays. It's really, really nice. If you like K-pop, K-dramas, current day Korean culture, this film is for you. And it seems that there's some conflict because at some point in the film, the couple gets, the lie, it gets heavy on people. They get fed up of lying and they don't know very well how they will handle those lies, that they are rich people. And we wonder how it will be when they find out about each other. And it's interesting because we think that they will be apart, but they aren't. It's a really, really touching, emotional film. And I'm sure you are going to love it with your whole heart. And remember, the film is silly. It's meant to be silly. Embrace the silliness. Get in that vibe, that cheerful, colorful vibe. And I'm sure your heart will be very light. That's all for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you.